Well, good morning. I'm Marian LaSalle with Future Media Association, and I'm so glad to be here today, especially talking about this particular topic. I actually wrote a book called Affiliate Marketing for Fun and Profit. It's up on Amazon, and I love it because whenever I create media, whenever I create anything, it's always got to have fun attached. And who doesn't want to have profit along with their fun? So creating media for fun and profit, it's the same thing. So I started out in affiliate marketing and internet marketing many, many years ago, before anybody even knew what it was. And so I did a lot of teaching. I taught a lot of classes. I did a lot of coaching. All of my clients who came to my blogging classes, I taught them affiliate marketing, and I had a lot of students who looked at me like, what is this affiliate thing? And they didn't quite grasp it. So I knew I had to teach it. I knew I had to write a book about it because it's so easy and it's what we do anyway. Why not get paid for it? When we talk about the things that we love in the world, we love around us, in our homes, on our car, on our lawn, whatever it is that we are either buying for ourselves or looking at and appreciating, why we can then talk about and create income from it just by going to the company and asking for a little link. And that link then can offer you a recurring income. It's pretty cool. So we're going to be talking about media creation for fun and profit. And just because I like to do things like affiliate marketing doesn't mean that that's the kind of media that you create. You can create anything you'd like. So, oh, look, I see my co-host is here. Excellent. Come on in the hot seat. There he is. Good morning, Mr. Johns.
How are you doing, dear?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm excellent. I just noticed they changed the screen a little bit. I logged out and logged in because I was logged in as Future Media, so I had to come back out. So it's like, I can't get in because
I'm already here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So,
so we're talking. Yes, we're talking today about media creation for fun and profit. And I was just discussing a little bit about how I started in internet marketing long before people really understood what it was. I wrote a book about affiliate marketing for fun and profit, which is available on Amazon right now. And it's all about creating fun and profit on the things that you're already doing, right? So when you're creating media, whether it's something like affiliate marketing, doesn't matter, whatever you're creating, you can still bring in the fun and make a profit.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, in fact, I was just talking with that on my last call, and we were talking about niche sites. And one of the gentlemen in the meeting was talking about there's actually a website for left-footed soccer players.
Of course there is.
And we've talked about this in podcasting with the knitting. Somebody talking about knitting or
that's right.
Biology. I mean, there's all kinds of niches that people are passionate about. I still think that I'm going to start a knit site about socks. I like socks, and I'd like to sell socks and just put socks together and have cool socks. I mean, why not?
Really?
Well, bike socks. It's like bicycle socks and yeah, I like socks.
Why not?
Yeah. And so I just thought it would be kind of cool and get all these manufacturers and you just drop ship in a site and you just kind of run with it but niche for fun and profit. The other part is, having a resource page on your site for all of the tools that you already use. And like what you've taught me is, if you're doing affiliate links, then you can actually generate some revenue as a result of having those passive links on your site and sharing those with your audience that stop by and see you, right?
Right. Yes, I'm a firm believer in we already do it. We're already sharing with our friends, our neighbors, our relatives, our coworkers, and our family what we love, right? We're talking about what's making our grass really green this year, or we're talking about the new swing set we have in the back for our kids. We're talking about the socks that the bikers are now wearing that keep your feet dry. Whatever it is we're talking about, we're already talking about, we're already sharing what we love and what we're using and what we've seen. And so why not?
Yeah.
Why not bring in the fun and the profit, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the other things that we can create in the media, right? Media creation, and bring the fun and the profit in with it. So I know that you love to create, Russ. So tell me a little bit about some of the things that you've created lately that you brought the fun and the profit in.
Well, one of the things that has probably been most productive for me in the last year recently has been you're working with podcasting, teaching some media creation with how to create a podcast with Spreaker, which has led me to introductions repeatedly about people that want to learn how to, create a podcast, yet they may not have the confidence or the technical knowledge of putting these things together. So being able to create that media that allows them to understand, okay, here's some of the things that you're doing. Here's some of the things that you want to create. However, you need a little assistance with it, So creating.
All right. So let's back up now.
All
okay.
Right.
So what did you create?
I created a video.
Okay.
On a video tutorial on how to do something.
Okay. So you created a video. Did you have to create the media that goes along with it that would show that video? What about a graphic? Did you create a graphic?
I created a graphic. I created a movie. I created audio. I created a little bit of everything with it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your topic was how to start a podcast and how to share it with the world.
Correct.
And the media that you created was images like a JPEG or a PNG?
Yes.
A movie? And you used, what kind of software did you use to create that?
I used ScreenFlow.
Okay, ScreenFlow, which is a software that allows you to capture your screen in motion, right? And you talk over what you're doing on the screen. Is that true?
Narrate it. Yes, correct.
You married it. That's a good way to say it. Okay. So you created this movie to demonstrate how they could create a podcast. And then you closed out your movie with a call to action.
Correct.
Okay. And what was that call to action? Did you ask them to sign up for your newsletter? Did you ask them to come to your Twitter? What did you ask them to do at the end of your movie?
I don't recall. Connect with me on probably, track me down on Twitter, follow me on Facebook.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I'm learning through this process, Marion, is how to create a call to action that's beneficial. That's
beneficial
important
for you and for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because here's the thing is that there's really no, it's great having a conversation about business. However, business really doesn't take place unless you can help somebody solve their problem and they're willing to pay you for that exchange. I mean, we're all about helping people and we love to help people. And one of the things that we also understand is that, there's value in being a professional and supporting other professionals with this. So
okay, so we're going to go back to what you created. Okay, so we created a graphic, we created a movie, we created some call to action,
yeah,
and then then what did you do with that? How did you share it? What did you do with that media that you created?
Then I put it up on YouTube.
Okay. Was there any way for them to pay? Did you have to create some kind of...
No, I just gave it away.
You gave it away.
gave
Where's the
it away.
profit in that? Where is the profit in that? That's what I want to
The
know.
profit in that it would be just the profit of the relationship I'm building online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were creating your community by giving them some good media, right, that they could watch for free.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
like, okay, well,
So was that a fun process for you? Did
I
you
love
have
doing
fun?
that.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
if I had the opportunity, I would probably just sit here and create stuff like that all day long.
Okay. So sooner or later, though, you have to stop giving something away and actually
Correct.
ask them for some money, right? So,
Yes.
so one way to do that is to create a bunch of really cool stuff and put it into a membership site, right?
Correct.
Or you could individually package those and put them on your website inside a store, right?
Correct.
Or you could open up a separate store like Shopify, or go to Etsy or something like that, where you're selling your wares, right?
Correct.
So it sounds to me like you love to create.
I love to create. Yes.
Okay, good. So we have that part down.
Uh-huh.
And you're building your community, so you're profiting by building this a really strong community around you, right?
Correct.
So now we have to take it one step further and actually ask people for money.
Yeah. Well,
Yahoo!
yeah, that's for a lot of people, that's a challenge. That's like the biggest roadblock is, okay, why would anybody want money? The imposter syndrome and all of those things that we talk about. And the reality is that we all bring value to the table. There's so many things that we can actually bring life to. And we have years of experience in what we're doing, and we don't even think anything of it. Like we were having a conversation last night, we're kind of in this bubble of our own creation, and people outside in, just running around doing normal day stuff. They're not creating media because they're not aware of how to create media. So it's a difference, kind of looking at it through a different lens. So.
Okay. Can you check your phone?
Can I check my phone?
Would you please? Yeah, excellent. Okay, so today we're talking about media creation for fun and profit. And what does that mean to you? What kind of media creation could you have some fun with and also profit? And sometimes the profit is not money, it's building your community or whatever you feel is valuable, right?
Absolutely. What's the last thing that you created, Marion? You had a book recently that you created.
I've created 2 books recently. The last 2 things that were substantial. Of course, I create a lot of graphics and I create different things that are going on. But the 2 big things, one is a book for full service technology. It's for sale on fullservicetechnology.com. And also I did a compilation book with 12 other authors. And it's a Lone Star Media Leaders, which you're one of the cool media leaders.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. We got on the Amazon bestseller list in 3 categories. That was pretty cool. I'm waiting to make sure that we can celebrate that, right? Got to celebrate your wins.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go through the process of how we created a book and how we made it fun and how it's going to be profitable. How does that sound?
And there's another book that you created that was really brilliant. How to create images, online images. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, how to create images using free and low cost tools was the name of the book I created.
And that was brilliant.
It was brilliant and people loved it and I sold the heck out of it.
Uh-huh.
However, the technology has already made that book obsolete. So
Isn't that
I no
amazing?
longer sell that. However, I could take the book and just change out the tools and the technology that I use. Believe it or not, it was less than a year ago I created that book and it's already obsolete.
Was it yet less than a year ago?
Less than a year ago. So
Wow.
here's the process that I went through. And I'd
crazy.
love for you to ask me the same questions I asked you and you know, so that people can understand how to create media, bringing in fun and making profit. I do better if you ask me specific questions.
Yeah, and I forget the specific questions.
Okay. So
What
the
was
first
specific
question I asked you was, what did you create? And then how did you create it? And how did, you know, I mean, it's just,
So what did you create?
okay. So the book, let's talk about the creating images with free and low cost tools. I charged $20 when it was all said and done, right? It was $20. So everybody has a $20 bill. So I would highly recommend that if you're going to create something like that, that you make it about a $20 value, because people will easily give you a $20 bill. I sold it at conferences. I sold it at networking meetings. I sold it at, I had a booth at a little get together for business owners. And people want to learn how to create their own images, right? But they want it free and they want it easy. Let's put it that way. They want free tools and they want easy. So that's what I did.
Right.
I created something my community really wanted.
So
I used Camtasia. And I did. I used PowerPoint slides. I brought the slides into Camtasia. And then as the slides were going by, which I could control, I would just describe what was happening. So you can do a live presentation and capture the screen as it's going by, or you can use slides that have still images, either way. And then I just took it down to my local printers and I had them printed out. I put a cover on the front and the back. So I had to create some graphics that would make it look like a book, right? And then I took it down to the printers. They put it in a little spiral little book. It was about 20 pages. And that was it.
And you had a product, and it took you, how long did it take you?
It took me about 3 days to create that product. I was able to pull it into my website under, I have a tab called products, and I was able to sell it on my website as well as print it out at the printer and take it with me to wherever I was going. So it was pretty cool. When people see you have a book for sale, whether it's a real book, like, let me see, this gentleman here had a book that I got at a networking event. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah. Super sit.
So it's a real small book. It's very thin, small. And he gave this away, like kind of like his business card.
Right.
Now that would take a lot longer than the book that I was talking about. This would take longer to do and more expensive.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have any more of those around. So yes, that was fun. It was a lot of fun for me, and I did profit. So
that was media creation for fun and profit.
It was. So how did I know what my audience wanted? How did I know that they were willing to buy that?
I don't know. How did you discover that process?
I listened to their questions. They kept asking me. So we have a question in the chat room. It's NC Roxanne. Does it tell what nutrition would help certain diseases?
Does the book tell you?
No, this one says Super Fast Nutrition, The Busy Person's Guide to Increasing Energy and Losing Weight by Scott York. So I actually got this from a gentleman at, I was a volunteer for Dr. Joe Vitale in San Antonio, Texas last year. He had a fantastic 3-day event. And I was lucky to be one of his volunteers. And I got to meet all the presenters. He had people in the back of the room that had tables, and this gentleman was giving away his book. And it was wonderful. So I just wanted to, it's whatever your passion is, you can create a book. And something easy and fast like the one I created, using graphics, using PowerPoint and using something to, like you said, Russ, marry it together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think for people that want to start something like that? What do you suggest?
Well, there's some really cool tools right now, like SurveyMonkey. So if you have an audience that you can survey and ask them some questions about what they would like, you have to actually tweak those questions. Russ and I both found this out, that when you ask your audience what they want, they'll look at you with blank stares. They don't know.
On occasion.
They have no. They're just like, huh? I don't know, whatever you want to teach me, right?
Yeah.
That's shocked me. So you have to be creative when you're thinking about how you're going to ask your audience a certain question.
And you have to ask, I think, different questions. It's, are you familiar with this, or you're familiar with that on these technologies? And if the answer is no, that's something that you can have, kind of some feedback loops, because everybody knows something, right? And not everybody knows there isn't anybody that knows everything. So you just have to find out what they're interested in learning at that point in time. That's what I find fascinating.
So Russ, I know you have some pretty big clients. What are they creating? What kind of media are they creating? Are they creating radio shows? Are they creating television shows? Are they creating graphics, email marketing? What are they creating out there right now?
A lot of companies are starting to understand the importance of engagement with their community. And what they're using a lot is email. And starting, what I'm recommending and helping a lot of companies with is putting these informational tools together that's talking about their specific vertical market, and then sending it out to clients to help them be more informed about what's taking place in the market for their products and services, or their regulations are updating, things are changing in the market, or the market itself is changing. So what's taking place is you have to educate your community, and that increases engagement. So email has been a great tool that I've been helping a lot of clients out with. And that's
now those are some pretty big clients. Those are some major corporations, and they're just now learning why email strategy is so important. So
yeah, and they've been using email differently. So now they're starting to use it as an engagement tool rather than just a newsletter blast out once a month.
And what does that look like? Bring it down to where we can understand what it is you're talking about. What are they sending? How are they trying to communicate with their audience? What are you teaching them? I should say.
That's a great question. So one of the things that we're doing is taking, instead of going out to everybody in their database, and sometimes they don't have databases, which is another part of what we're doing. I recommend that we bring it into a smaller audience with a very focused message, because, a lot of companies, they may sell 10,000 widgets, or they may sell lots of different products that serve a lot of different needs. Think of it in terms of a construction company. A general contractor manages lots of subcontractors. So say the plumber needs something unique, and it's going to be different than the electrician is going to need. So what we want to do is make sure that we provide information that's unique to the plumber when we're sending a message out to the plumbers, and sending a unique message out to the electricians when we're talking to the electricians. So it's a personalized message that allows the company to be an authority in some of these new emerging conversations in technology, whether it's, any focus or a new thing that they're doing in industry, and sharing it, be a resource. And that's the thing is if a business can be a resource to your clients and partners, and then they come to you for assistance when they're needed. So you just keep that engagement going.
So Russ, there's a question in here. Do you recommend that business owners build their personal brand as well as their business brand on social media? And I'm going to leave that question to you, although I will put my 2 cents in. That's really hard. People really struggle with this question.
Uh-huh.
And it's more of a personal decision than it is a business decision, I think, because when people talk about social media, sometimes it's sticky, right?
Well,
like I've had family members unfriend me because I do too much business on my personal, right? So what about the branding?
Here's my position on it, and this is what I teach. And Chris is going to come on here. Awesome, Chris.
I have some personal experience with that question, so I'm happy to contribute. Just shut me up or get me going. Either one.
I will state my opinion, and then Chris, you can actually share your experience. How's that sound?
Glad to help.
So here's a perfect example. Chris is an evangelist for his company. My position is even if you're in a large organization, you should be branding your skills, techniques, anything, your unique position on some of these things as an individual working in an organization. Think of it in terms like from a technology perspective, some of the top engineers in Cisco have their own brands. They personalize that. They're experts in wireless, or they're experts in networking, or they're experts in routing and switching. And they're branded internally and externally. So if they go outside the organization, they still have that authority and influence in that subject matter. And being a subject matter expert in your organization, there is no downside. And so my recommendation is the more experts you can have in your organization that are branded uniquely to their skill set, the better off the organization is going to be. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah. So the question was, business owners build their personal brand, as well as their business brand on social media. Mm-hmm. It depends if you are the business, right? So,
right.
You mentioned that I work for a large company. I do, but I also maintain a separate personal brand that brings value to my contribution to my company. So when I create multimedia content that my company uses, it's of course branded that company name, and they are leveraging all of my knowledge, and I'm basically transparent to the marketing deliverable that I create for them, right? But on my own personal brand, I'm known as an industry expert, a subject matter expert on a certain thing. So I build that brand differently than I do with my corporate brand, right? Because I'm a cog in the machine at Autodesk, right? So it's like, there's thousands of us that work at Autodesk. But in terms of myself, I build my own brand. I have my own level of expertise, and I heaven forbid, I'm of the opinion that, even though I'm an employee for a big company, they're actually my number one client. That's kind of my approach, right? So if something ever happens to that client, heaven forbid, I'm still viable in the industry as a known entity.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So you have to be able to back yourself up. So the question was, do I brand myself, or do I brand my business, or do I do both? If you are the business and they're hiring, you because of you and what you are, yes. Right. If your company is a lot bigger and you're just the president of the company, the answer is maybe. This is my opinion. I feel free to challenge me on it. My answer is maybe, because you still, if your company does something really well and it takes a team of people to do that really well, you want that team to be known as, you want to be associated with that team. You're running that team, but you don't want to exclude any social media cachet or presence or whatever. You don't want to exclude that team just to build up your personal social brand, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't, unless there's some conflict of interest, Chris, I don't see the downside of being the subject matter expert in a large organization. The material that you put out on behalf of the company will not be your brand, and it will be the company brand. However, that's completely separate from the branding, you're personally branding, like your subject matter expert brand in the industry and at Autodesk. I mean, it's one and the same. I mean, I think in today's time and social arena, I don't think they can be separated any longer. I mean, and Marion's point is, okay, somebody unfriended her because, I mean, Marion and I, we're, you do 3D animation. I mean, you don't punch a clock and turn it off and not think about it at 6 o'clock at night when you're, not on the computer. I think about what I do all day long. I think about it all the time. And I think about how I can improve and change and help people and answer questions and do all of that stuff. So
exactly.
I think it's transparent. I think this idea of balanced, life, business, work balances, I think we're getting into the arena of, and this is a much bigger conversation, but I think that it's who we are and what we bring to the table is not necessarily 9 to 5 any longer.
Exactly right.
Technology.
Exactly right.
So, all right. So let's bring it back to media creation for fun and profit. So it sounds to me, it's all makes sense. It seems to me that we're all creating this media, whether it be emails or graphics or 3D animations, it doesn't matter. It's fun for us. And we have to be able to profit in one way or another. If we're being funded by somebody like a large corporation, and we can mix the fun in, okay, great. But if it's our own company, we've got to make some money with that. Sure. Otherwise, we better win the lottery, right? So
cardboard hit the intersection.
There you go. So by creating your media, whether it be graphics or a radio station, a show, or it doesn't matter what it is, think about it as something that you really want to do. Bring the fun factor in, and always think about the call to action so that you can make a profit one way or another, whether it's building your community or actually putting money into your bank account. It all works together. So I'm going to close out the show, but please stay. We'll have time to talk, okay, after the show.
Yeah, after show.
This is Russ Johns and Marion LaSalle with Future Media Association. We invite you to come and join us. We are having fun creating media and bringing in experts from all over the world to help you create the media that you want, whether it's a radio station or all kinds of different things.
A blab thing.
Videos are one of my favorite, right? So graphics, I know that's one of your favorite, Russ. Yeah. And whatever your favorite media is, we're going to help you. And if we don't have the expert already, we're going to go out and find it for you. So come on in and join us, futuremediaassociation.com.